Come on, computer. All right. So The Rock making a lot of statements. I'm kind of getting tired of listening to The Rock talk. Just bring on Black Adam. Rock, stop talking. Because The Rock says stuff that just gets on my last nerve sometimes, and he did this week again. He's talking about, look, he's in this new movie with Gal Gadot and with Ryan Reynolds. And that's great. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be on Netflix, right? And that's cool. The problem is, he starts talking about that he thinks that he can make that he thinks that DC and Marvel needs to have a crossover and needs to have it right now, and that the three of them can make this happen. That the three of them, that if anybody can make it happen, it's The Rock, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds.
I disagree. I think the other guy who's saying he can make it happen has a much better chance of having it happen. Because James Gunn's been saying the same thing.
James Gunn needs to shut up too.
But I think James Gunn has a better chance of making it happen than The Rock.
I'm just saying, like first of all, we are nowhere near that. Second of all, there's just no need for that in the cinema, and it's just not going to happen. Like you're not going to get Disney and Warner Brothers together on a project like that. Whatever, Jarbo.
I don't know that I agree with you on that. We got Bugs Bunny and Mickey Mouse together in Who Framed Roger Rabbit.
Oh dear Lord.
Oh man,
I'm messing with you, Matt. Hey, if you're not doing anything, Matt, you're more than welcome to come in here. Hold on a second. I don't know what you're doing, but you're in the chat. So if you're in the chat, you may be available. So, yeah, no, I don't need that. I don't want it, and I just feel like The Rock just needs to stop. I like The Rock okay enough, but The Rock has been doing this whole thing, of the hierarchy in the DC universe. Did you guys see my video that?
On TikTok
that I did for TikTok.
That was pretty funny.
About that. Like I just, oops, man.
He said that like 90 times. It's like kind of getting old, dude. Like it's just gotta get a new line. Your publisher, I don't know, I can't speak English tonight, but you get what I mean. Like your team needs to come up with a new slogan for your movie.
Yeah, well, like this whole hierarchy in the DC universe, and people are trying to tell me, well, no, Enosh, that's not what he's trying to say. He's trying to say RJ. I love RJ, but RJ's trying to tell me that like he's just like, oh no, he's just hyping the movie. I get it, he's hyping the movie. I understand he's hyping the movie. He's doing it with wrestling terms. Okay, cool. I had to go look what I had to do. I had to go to Wired, man, because I can't control my own show.
Blame Jarbo. Just blame Jarbo.
It's all Matt Jarbo's fault. Let me see if I can find my video here, because this is where is it? Did I have it on here? It's become tiresome to listen to The Rock, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
I mean, it's just I get it, but at the same time, I don't get it. Like he wants so bad for Black Adam to succeed, and I want it to succeed, man.
I'm excited for it. The trailer, the teaser for it looks amazing. I'm like, wow, that is brutal. Like he was brutal in that.
Here it is right here.
All right.
If it loads, come on, load, baby.
In the DC universe is about to change.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
The hierarchy of power in the DC universe is about to change.
Oh yeah, Black Adam looks great, man. And you're gonna change the hierarchy in the DC universe? But are you really, Dwayne? Because the way I see it, unless you face this man right here, Henry Cavill Superman, it's all for naught. He is the hierarchy in the DC universe. And unless you take him on, it means absolutely nothing. So, Dwayne, how about we stop talking about changing the hierarchy in the DC universe? And how about we start trying to restore the Snyderverse? If you smell what we're cooking.
Oh, that's
So,
hilarious.
That was
Yeah.
sparkly.
Yeah, it was sparkly. Well, gotta do what I gotta do. But yeah, I'm tired of listening to him talk about this stuff because I get it that he's trying to hype it up. I understand exactly what he's doing. So please don't come at me and be like, Enosh, this is what he's trying to do. Look, he's using wrestling tactics by like trying to hype it all up, and I appreciate that. I really do. I appreciate it. But at this point, like, dude, one step at a time, bro. Literally, can we do one step at a time instead of trying to go from zero to God knows what? So first of all, before we actually bring up that, so there was this story. First of all, Black Adam pushes the boundaries of a PG-13 movie. Did you see this?
Oh, no.
Yeah, this I thought was interesting. It says Black Adam producer Hiram Garcia teased that the edgy film will push the boundaries of PG-13 superhero films and promised a very high kill count. So I know nobody is saying my Black Adam doesn't kill.
What? He doesn't. What are you talking about? He doesn't. Wow.
Yeah, no. Well, here's what I don't understand. Because they're going to make him an anti-hero, right? They've already talked about how they're going to make him an anti-hero. I understand that he needs to be brutal. I totally appreciate that. I get it. But at the same time, if you have him killing a bunch of innocents, just for the sake of killing, I don't know.
You also don't want to overdo it because this is still a spin-off of Shazam, and ultimately he is going to have to face off against Shazam.
Yeah.
Oh man, the tone shift is gonna be deadly. Cause oh man.
Yeah, it says move over Batman, which okay, whatever comic book resources. Move over Batman. Black Adam is getting ready to push the boundaries of a PG-13 superhero films. Speaking to CBR about his upcoming film Red Notice, producer Hiram Garcia offered some insight into $7 Productions, not $3 Theater, $7 Productions, $4 more, $4 more. Hey, Matt Jarbo, they're spending $4 more than you do on their production. Different approaches to Black Adam and DC League of Super Pets, as well as Black Adam's very high kill count. Black Adam is edgy, right? It says. Now what's up with this? This mouse is wanting to go too far. Black Adam is edgy, right? That's going to be a PG-13 movie where it is very much like, say, The Dark Knight, where that pushed the edges of PG-13. I think that we do that very much with Black Adam. We have a very high kill count in our movie, Garcia told CBR with a laugh. So, yeah. So basically, they like, but it says Super Pets. You're not dealing with that, right? Super Pets is a different tone. Well, I would hope so. like we got to be told that Super Pets isn't going to have a very high kill count. Now, Joe, were you expecting a high kill count? Were you expecting a high kill count in Super Pets?
Absolutely.
Yeah, like
Absolutely.
Enosh, I don't know what news you've been reading, but I heard it's gonna be one of the most brutal films or series ever made.
Beppo the
Super
Super
Pets.
Monkey is brutal, man.
Like they just, dude, did you see? I saw a leaked clip of what is it? Is Crypto in it? I believe it was Crypto, literally, harassing one of the other Super Pets because it stole its kibble.
Oh, that's not good.
Yeah, it got violent. It got really violent.
Man.
You know, a regular earthbound chimpanzee, when threatened, can tear a man's balls off. So imagine a Kryptonian chimp. So yeah, I expect Beppo's gonna stir up some shit, man.
I've got
my
Crypto
to
figure,
murder.
by the way. I got a Beppo action figure, but I will say this: like, I hear what you're saying, but there is a villain for that, for Beppo, like. Because, like you said, a regular chimp can totally tear off, a man's
Oh, yeah. You don't even want to get in started with.
But you
kill their own.
You got Beppo the super monkey. You got to step it up for that character.
His testicle sack is now so large, he has to wear a huge hoodie upside down instead of trousers.
Man. I mean, chimpanzees and overall, like, monkeys and all the different types, they're actually wild. You should probably read up on that. There's things like, never mind. I'm not going to get into that.
Yes, I want to see Crypto just murder someone. Cherie says, I'm imagining Crypto and Ace ripping a thug apart. Yes. But yeah, so, it says where it's just, Super Pets is a different tone where it's just fun. I would hope so. There's a lot of wish fulfillment. It's a lot of laughs, ultimately, because it's a cartoon for kids. It's a really fun ride that gives you a perspective into the superhero world, especially when you're dealing with the Justice League through the eyes of these pets that are awesome. Okay, you know what? I'll go with you for Super Pets. Batwheels thing needs to die. Super Pets needs to kill the Cars thing. That's
Why? It looks like fun.
No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't.
Hey, it's meant for kids.
My girls are excited for it.
Dude,
See,
it just
and
does
that's
not
what-
look like fun.
That's who it's meant for, though. That's who it's like Joe said. That's who it's meant for. It's not meant for people, like older people.
I guess, man, but the Cars thing is just insulting. I feel like it's insulting to people's intelligence because it's so ridiculous. The superheroes exist in this world, and their cars are sentient.
I mean,
why?
Haven't you ever seen a Herbie movie?
Yeah. What about Knight Rider? Isn't that car sentient?
Nope.
Wait, isn't it not?
Nope. It's artificial intelligence.
Tonight.
Oh. Well,
It's not
Tonight
alive.
on Disney After Hours.
Well, what is
Herbie
it?
gets a lube job.
Whoa! What? I just was about to make I don't know what. I'm good. I just
See, Cherie, thank you. Cherie says my girls looked at me and went, "Why? I've never been prouder."
Sure.
Oh my god!
As long as we're talking about the Super Pets, can we talk about how creepy Comet the Super Horse is?
There's a super horse now?
Oh,
Well,
dude,
no,
there's been a Super
Comet the Super Horse, that's a Silver Age character, but he also could shapeshift into a dude, and he tried to jam Supergirl. So Supergirl's horse tried to jam her. Think about that for a second.
No, I'm not. I can make a joke right now, but I don't know if he.
dig it? Can you dig it? Can you dig it?
Warriors.
It's not the 2-hour mark yet. I can't make those dirty type of jokes yet.
I'm not joking. That really happened. That's
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying I could definitely make a really, dirty joke about that, but it's not 2 hours.
we need Dan Larson's "Is It Canon" sound now.
Yeah, that's interesting.
the
I never
problem
knew that there was
probably
a
is.
super horse. That kind of just
that's an actual panel from a Supergirl comic.
I want to see. I gotta Google that because that's what's the name of the horse?
Comet.
Comet.
Yes.
That's interesting. Interesting.
Mm-hmm. Yep. No, I cannot. I'm not afraid. No horse jamming talk. Bad.
Oh man, I can't talk.
But, ladies and gentlemen, just as we're talking about Supergirl's horse trying to jam her,
I already know where you're going with this.
no, I don't think you do.
Oh, all right.
Killed
Okay.
Joe.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, the person that we really need to ask this question on is it okay for Supergirl's
Dawson?
horse to turn into a person and try to get with her? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the broadcast after a long hiatus. Dawson! Dawson! Ah!
Well, what the hell's going on?
Well, hello.
Hello there.
We're we're talking about Supergirl's horse trying to jam her.
I was wrong. I thought you were going to bring Jarbo in with that.
No.
No.
So you guys handled the bed sheets sharing situation. I'm guessing it's all good now. You guys are doing well.
What?
What?
What is going on? Hearing about
I heard the
Supergirl's
rumor.
horse jammer and then freaking
Oh
sharing
my
sheets.
gosh.
Like,
What?
Okay. No, never mind. That was a joke for because remember when you guys ended the Sunday podcast on your channel, Dawson, and people were talking about rumors and stuff, and I made a joke like because Enosh kept hogging all the sheets.
yes, that's exactly what that was.
Pretty much. Yeah. No, we're just talking. We just were getting into a discussion about The Rock and how I feel that he needs to stop talking. I feel that he's saying a bunch of stuff that he just needs to get over. He needs to stop with the hierarchy stuff and all that junk. But then also
Cool line at first, but
we were just looking at an article though that first it talked about super pets, and it talked about how there's an extremely high kill count in Black Adam. Okay, extremely high kill count, and compared it with super pets because he also voices
Crypto, right?
Crypto in super pets, and it said but it's just got a different vibe. The cartoon. And I was like, I would hope so. I would really hope so.
That would be hilarious if they just they said it's for kids, but then Crypto starts ripping people apart and stuff like that.
That's how we got on the super horse and the panel where he turned into a guy and tried to get with Supergirl.
Is that catfishing? Is that catfishing?
No, it's horse something. I don't know.
It's called horsing around. It's horseplay.
Oh, stop.
You ain't wrong. I mean,
oh man, I don't even want to know the physiology of all that and how that works. There's so many questions.
Let's not put the cart before the horse.
I mean, there's so many questions that you don't want answers to.
I have such a story that I could tell, but I can't because it's way too graphic. But it was absolutely hilarious. It was you ask about the physiology of it, right? And my ex-wife was very, very prudish.
Oh man,
she didn't like talking about sex at all. But every once in a while she'd say, "Can I put this delicately?" So one day she got a spam email. We were sitting here working on something, and we're on the computer and we're working on something together. And because she was writing a paper for school, and I was helping her write her paper. And she got an email. She was getting ready to send it, and she saw an email that was it was a spam, inappropriate, kind of email. Yeah. And it said something about come watch Stacy take a, whatever, 21-inch whatever from the horse. And she sees this very inappropriate thing, and she says, and I couldn't believe she said to this day, I can't believe she said, she goes, that's absolutely disgusting. I'm curious as to how that works. But it's absolutely disgusting. And I'm like, nope.
I mean, I blame biology, genetics, and chemistry for making my brain, instead of thinking, taking things, as a joke, I just am thinking, logically, how does this work? School. I blame school. Completely. It's changed my way of thinking.
I just blame the devil.
I blame the devil.
May the power of Christ compel you. That is great. That.
I blame the devil.
Jumping off a cliff.
That's awesome. Just jumping off a cliff. We actually have footage of Xeno.
Oh man,
I miss that drop so much.
Yeah. Okay, so Yeah, I know, Sheree. I have a story I can't tell because it's so graphic. 10 seconds later, here's the story.
I knew you were gonna say it anyways. Like, he's gonna say it. You
It's
can't.
too graphic, but I don't care.
Yeah, you can't just tease us like that. It's a little too dirty. You can't do us like that.
You're just leading him to another clip, aren't you?
Yes,
He's
yes, I
trying.
am.
Yeah. Well.
Just like to tease everybody a little bit, just tickling it a little bit. I still have no idea what I was referring to in that
Neither
clip.
do I. I don't either. Okay, so we're told that at least that's going to be a different thing. But this is where I say that they need to stop, because Dwayne Johnson says Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds can make Marvel and DC crossover film happen.
Good criminy no.
Why?
Yeah.
How would that? No, just come on.
No. Absolutely not.
Yeah.
I'm all for a crossover, but that just no. I don't know.
It all depends who's crossing over.
That is a fair point. Yeah.
My thing is like, the only situation where I'd be comfortable with a DC Marvel crossover is if you have both universes that are like actually established. Marvel's established. DC is not.
They're trying to figure out what is and what isn't. They're like, so what are we moving forward with? Are we going,
They're trying to figure out the multiverse right now before they even have a second Superman film. So, I mean, that's like...
which we probably won't get. I mean, who knows the next time we'll see a Justice League movie? Who knows? I mean...
I firmly believe we're going to have a Justice League movie announced a year from now.
I don't. Maybe like they're gonna work on it, but I don't think they're. It's
If they're smart, they won't do it, man.
I think they're gonna wait. There's no way. I mean,
they would have to wait.
It's been since 2017.
Who's gonna be in that movie? Look, Dawson, I just played it, but have you seen my my TikTok video that I did towards Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson?
I don't have TikTok.
Okay, I think I shared the video in our group chat, whatever.
You did, yeah.
Okay, so because here's the thing. Who's gonna be Superman? Tell me who's Superman in that Justice League movie.
That's
is it Henry Cavill?
What about Ben Affleck too? Are you gonna have
who's
him?
Gonna be Batman? It better not be Michael Keaton.
Oh, I just
like. Here's the thing: is like.
Oh man.
Again, with Marvel, you already have a new established Captain America with Falcon, right? I mean, you've worked that into a story where it's been a long time coming. And then you have, of course, Thor. You have him. You have the Guardians of the Galaxy. You have all these characters. Like, when you think of their name as a character, you think immediately of the actor. Like,
exactly.
There's an established actor with that, but with DC, you don't have that structure right now. And so, like, are you going to try to throw in Sasha Kaye, Supergirl's replacement for Superman? Or are you going to try to put in, like, the new Batgirl's replacement for Batman? Like, again, nothing against, like, those different characters. It's just like when you think of Justice League, you think of the main Justice League characters, and if you're gonna have an epic crossover like that, you need to have the staple characters of the Justice League and not
the
simply,
Trinity.
The Trinity, and not just like shoehorned in versions of the Trinity.
Yeah, and it would, a lot of people would be like, "That's woke. They're not having Batman there and Batgirl."
That's not
and
my
stuff
concern.
Like that.
It's just like
yeah, I know, but like. It's just, I know that's going to happen. If they ever did that, that is exactly what's going to happen. But I see what you mean. That's a very fair point. It's like Marvel has been building up and has been staying consistent with their characters and continue with their story no matter how bad some of the movies may be, like Thor Dark World. They continue with the continuity. They don't stop. They don't hesitate. They keep going right ahead because they have an overall big picture that they're going to get to. And they might have, some stops along the way that kind of derail it a little bit.
Look, a Justice League movie from this current regime is not. No. Listen, because here's the other thing. I'm exhausted with dealing with one freaking controversial decision by Warner Brothers after another.
Yeah.
I'm tired of it. Look, just reboot the whole freaking thing. Can we just do that? Look, if you're not going to give us a Justice League 2, if you're not going to allow Zack Snyder look, Joe, I know that you don't like Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's fine. But look, there's a lot of people who do. All I'm saying is, if you're going to have a multiverse, let the multiverse exist so that everybody has a little something that they enjoy, and I'm fine with that. Then you could go off, do Batman in gray spandex for all I care. Like, I don't care what you do, man. Like, seriously, let them have a field day, whatever they want to do. But let everybody be represented. But if you're not going to do that, and you're going to sit there and go, well, well, we like this Aquaman that Zack Snyder gave us, and it made us $1 billion, so we're still going to use that. And we got, in just a couple of minutes, we'll talk about Wonder Woman 3, you know, and stuff. We got Wonder Woman 3 coming out because we gotta see that through. We gotta do all that stuff. Screw all that. Just reboot it. Do whatever the heck you want to do, and leave all the good stuff out of it. Leave the stuff that I love out of it. Don't drag down everything that I loved, with you. And tell a different story.
I wouldn't want to see that at all. I hate reboots. I really don't like reboots.
But dude, what else you gonna do?
At this point,
what else can they do? They're cutting off
stay the course. Just stay the course.
They're not going to do that. If they would stay the course, they would have to continue the Snyderverse, but they're obviously not doing that.
Well, the Snyderverse is continuing, though. I mean, Flash is Snyderverse, and Aquaman 2 is Snyderverse.
The characters maybe, but it's not the same. It's a completely different
actor. See, here's the problem. Just because you use the same actor, and I get what you're saying. And look, my judgment is being left until I watch that Flash movie. I've actually been supportive of actually looking at that movie for what it is. But the problem is after what I saw at Fandom, I'm really concerned because, dude, if you change the entire tone of everything and you try to make it a comic booky, like cartoony looking, bright colored thing like Marvel, that's like not what those characters were. So you're changing it. You're already rebooting it. You just don't want to admit it, and you don't want people to think that you're rebooting it because you want to rake in the cash, and that's the problem that I have with it, dude. It would be
like Justice
League.
Anyway. I thought, Justice League. I know, like the 2017 Justice League. It did not feel like it was in the same universe with the same character. Yeah, it had the same characters, but it feel like it was in that Snyderverse. No, it did not, because it was a completely different tone. And it was awkward to see. And, and obviously they had a lot of continuity issues and actually storytelling issues, especially with the mother boxes. But, I mean, that's what I get at. I see what you're saying, Joe. They have the same characters. They have Zack Snyder's Flash and Aquaman. But it's about the way they tell the story and and how in the visuals as well.
And the thing with the whole... There's two avenues you can go in order to make the most profit and the most... have the most success with your franchise when it comes to DC. Either it's continue with the story that you started from the beginning and have consistency, right? Because consistency, as we've seen with the MCU, has built up a fan base. Because, regardless of what many people might say, there was a refreshing difference between Marvel films and DC films when both these universes were first starting out. You could choose either a darker side or a more lighter tone side. You had that option. But now both sides are trying to be like the other, or I guess one side's trying to be like Marvel, or either that, or you have to simply reboot the whole thing because, again, all this confusion in the middle just simply frustrates fans. And frustration when it comes to building a franchise is never a good thing because it creates ill will. It creates, fan fatigue because fans at some point are just like, well, I'm tired of trying to figure out where this lands here. I think Marvel fans are finally starting to get a little taste of what we're going through with the whole Morbius thing, where they're like, "Oh, which universe is it taking place in?" It's join the freaking club, Marvel fans. Yep. We've been in this for the past 4 years. We don't know what the hell's going on.
See, I don't understand why there's confusion though, because it seems so simple to me. Everything in the DC universe is taking place in the DCEU, Earth 1, with the exception of Joker and Batman, which are on alternate Earths.
But that's not true at all, because you have Wonder Woman, for instance. The first Wonder Woman film directly connected with BVS with the whole photograph of her and Steve Trevor, and she said, I walked away from mankind 100 years ago. Then she comes back in 1984. That totally breaks that narrative. At least
she's literally a warrior from Themyscira who comes out and participates. Yes, she's frustrated with man's wars and stuff, but the thing is, when it comes down to it, she fights and she carries a sword and she does those things. In Wonder Woman 84, they gutted the character where she's I
felt like
a
different character.
Fight. Yeah, I won't even fight. I'm going to do it with love, and it's what does that even mean?
When I rewatched all the movies recently, I actually did when I watched it all over again, because Wonder Woman 84 I did not like at all in the first viewing. I'm like, okay, so this is just pure entertainment. This is not really good. But then I rewatched it.
I don't hate it. It's just
Yeah, you just have to watch it again because like I actually found a newfound respect to it. I mean,
yeah, I'm not saying it's the worst movie ever. It just doesn't fit the tone.
Yeah, even watching it a second time, it doesn't fit the tone. But I get it. There's still some aspects from the first movie that, like, rewatching, I could see, and it kind of makes sense. But overall, like, the points that you're making, they hold to be true. But I mean, I just it's not the greatest sequel to the first Wonder Woman, and overall doesn't really meet kind of the expectations or the stuff that's been established with that character before, but it's it's like dabbles in and out with some of the stuff that we've seen and continuity of the character. So
yeah,
and that's the big thing is that like
stuff is just all over the place.
The tone and consistency of how the characters portrayed is the biggest issue. Like you can make the argument of the actors being similar or the same in these different versions. Like you can definitely make that argument, but I think at the end of the day, as far as storytelling consistency, that's the one thing that DCU is not having right now, whereas the MCU has that. I mean, yes, they kind of branch off to their own thing, but at the end of the day, they all feel like the same universe.
Isn't Eternals like the thing that's like the new movie that's kind of like seems like people have been saying on Twitter, at least who have seen the movie, said that it feels like it's like it's in the MCU, but it feels like a totally different movie that hasn't been done yet in the MCU. It's like obviously, like Joe said, it's more serious and stuff like that. And I'm completely fine with the change in tone in certain things, but it has to hold up with what has been established before. If it's in the DCEU and all these movies, technically yes, they're all in the DCEU, but if you change the tone, you gotta continue. Like, I don't care if you change the tone and like you go from really funny to serious to really funny again, but you gotta hold up the same stuff that you established with these characters. And if you change things up and erase some of the stuff that's been already established with certain characters, you kind of overall erase what has been done before, and overall it confuses the audience because they're like, this doesn't make sense with what we saw of the character before. Like, they didn't act a certain way, so why are they acting now? And
here's a perfect example. I don't mean to interrupt you, but
no problem.
Here's a perfect example of the confusion fans have with the DCEU. The directors for the Batgirl movie announced that Batman would make an appearance. DC fans are asking, which one?
Well, yeah, but that's too soon to have that answer. We haven't seen.
Well, that's the problem, though. It's the problem. We have to ask that question.
It's got the same Commissioner Gordon, right?
Right.
As Zack Snyder's his world, right? So who's Batman?
Well, we don't know yet.
That's the problem.
That's the problem.
See, we have to ask that question.
We don't know Superman either.
I don't see that as being a problem at all because
but you're saying it's the same world. You're saying that
a part of the Trinity. He's like one of the crucial characters of the Justice League.
We haven't seen the Flash movie yet. We don't know where that's going to take us.
That's a huge thing. I mean,
that's
I agree.
That's like saying who's going to be Spider-Man at the end of No Way Home. Is it going to be Tom Holland or is Andrew Garfield going to come out? We don't know yet. We haven't seen it.
It's just
it's
a problem because again, when you're trying to establish, like, we're going back to the whole conversation of MCU, DCU, like clash here. You have to have something that's consistent. Like, again, my biggest gripe with the whole Batman thing is that if you do have Michael Keaton's Batman as the Batman in that one, he's gonna be older than Commissioner Gordon. He'll be older than him. That's just how it is. And like the fact that we have to be frightened, or not frightened, but like concerned as to which Batman's going to make it out of the Flashpoint as the Batman frustrates me. And it was also a bad move by the directors of the Batgirl movie when they were asked which Batman, they're like, the real one. So now, no matter which Batman it is, that fan base can be like, oh yeah, this is the real Batman. Like, even if it is Batfleck that ends up appearing, I know people on my side of things will be like, oh yeah, that's the real Batman, suck it. And I'm just like, no. They're already causing ill will with it just by that statement alone. Yeah. So again, the fact you have to ask that question, which Batman is it, just illustrates enough the confusion DCU fans have. Whereas if you announce in the MCU that, like say back before Homecoming was announced, Iron Man's going to appear in Homecoming, you didn't have to ask which Iron Man. Of course, there's been no actor for it before, so that's a fair point. But you still don't have to ask that because you just know. Okay, it's a consistent universe.
But then again, like I just kind of thought about this. Like, I know that it was kind of hinted that Falcon was going to be the new Captain America, but we didn't know like 100% who was going to be the new Captain America, or if there ever was going to be a replacement or a new Captain America, who was going to take up the shield, or what's going to happen with the shield, and like, stuff like that with Captain America. I mean, that's like I guess is a similar thing, because I mean, it's a huge part of the MCU.
Not
but
really,
I mean,
because like that's already a pre-established comics thing. Like we already know in many comic storylines, Falcon becomes the not the Winter Soldier, Captain America, and they kind of hinted at that in certain movies. Whereas this one, it's like you have two different versions of the same character that are drastically different as far as age, to some extent tone, and so you're just left wondering like, how is this going to work? How are you going to have a Michael Keaton Batman working with J.K. Simmons, Jim Gordon, and this young Batgirl? Like, there's a lot of things that scare me, honestly, when it comes to future DC movies, because you think, oh, if they do this, that's stupid. If they do this, that's stupid. There's just a lot of
the problem all boils down to the fact that they have not had a plan.
They have not.
I disagree. I totally disagree.
Dude, they have not had a plan.
I totally disagree.
In fact, you can't disagree. Joe, I love you, but you can't disagree with that because they have not had a plan.
But I
did.
I spelled out their plan like 2 years ago, and everything I said has come to pass, with one exception.
If you spelled out what you thought they were doing, that's great, but they have not had a plan. Like,
they have not.
Admittingly, they have not had a plan.
Hold on.
By who? Who admitted that?
Okay, hold up, Joe.
They have not had a dude. They announced like 12 different movies that none of them happened.
They're literally throwing things at the wall.
They were literally throwing everything out there. Like, we're going to do a Flash movie, a Cyborg movie.
That was the old regime. No. Listen.
Aren't they still in the?
They starting with Justice League even. They have not had a plan for anything, dude, over the last few years. Like,
Walter Hamada.
This Flash movie has taken like 7 years to get off.
And
thank God it did. Thank God it did.
How many
they had
different
no
directors?
talent hacks attached to it.
How many different directors? That's what I'm saying. They have not had a plan for what they wanted to do with it. It's gone through so many. Dude, how can you disagree with something when it's had multiple different scripts, different directors?
Yeah, because you're talking about about another regime. When Walter Hamada came in, he spelled out what his plan was, and everything he said.
What's Walter Hamada's plan?
He said, we're going to concentrate on standalone films, build the universe, and connect it later. And that's what he did. We got Aquaman, we got Shazam, we got Birds of Prey, we got all these standalone films.
He has not done anything.
The Flash movie, he's finally going to bring it together again.
Dude, so then why did they do Justice League, though?
He wasn't there for that.
Dude, I love you, Joe, but here's the thing. Walter Hamada has not had a part in any of those other films.
He hasn't.
Literally.
He's been the producer since Justice League.
After
Justice League, he was hired.
He came into things that were already going. Birds of Prey was already going along. Aquaman was already going along. All these other films were already going along. The Flash movie is literally like his first thing that he actually has a part in actually being a part of, dude. That's
it's already being reported by so many different sites that basically what the multiverse idea is a way for them to reboot things they don't like and keep things that they do. It's a lazy way of keeping things that make money and getting rid of things that they just don't want to have in their universe. It's not a plan. They're hoping to God that it works. They're saying like, oh, we have this multiverse thing. Let's play on that. Hope to God that it works, because again, like Enosh said, they've announced so many different things over the past couple of years that have not come to pass. I'm pretty sure that's not a part of a movie studio's plan.
Yeah, you just got to know like what Walter Hamada can say anything, but the reality is he has not he has not actually put anything into play yet. The Flash is like his first thing. But you know what? You know who else? You know what though? Real quick, I want to bring him in. First of all, two things. Jenner Custom Toys, thank you, bro, for the Loch Ness Monster. He's got the tree fitty. Appreciate that. Sorry I haven't been around for a while. We love you, Joe, or love you, Jenner Custom Toys, Bruce, my friend Bruce. And then, of course, also we want to bring this guy in because you know what? He speaks the truth. He is the truth. He's got the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And sometimes the truth hurts.
Do you hear that? Listen. Even Grandma in heaven is booing you right now.
Wow.
That hurts. That hurts. What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing?
What's going on, man?
Hello.
We're doing good. No, we're just talking. we're trying to get into this story of
We're debating
of The Rock.
Okay.
Yeah, we're having a friendly debate. We're
Okay,
trying to
gotcha.
get into this story about The Rock talking about like he wants this crossover film, and that somehow spurned us into the plans of Warner Brothers over the last
Or the lack thereof.
or the lack
Yeah.
thereof. And Joe, look, and Joe, I respect Joe. Joe, you know I
Yeah.
respect you,
Hello,
man,
Joe.
and everything. But yeah, I mean the inner workings of what has happened. I mean, Walter Hamada has not had a part in doing any of those things. Walter Hamada said that, but the reality is Walter Hamada had no part in those films.
I don't agree with that. His name is in the credits of every one of them.
Dude, Zack Snyder's name is on literally every one of those films because he created those characters. Do you think that Zack Snyder has anything to do literally with the production of those? He's a producer on all of them. Names on a film don't mean anything, man. Like it doesn't.
No, but
mean,
these movies don't produce themselves.
Some of them are, dude. Literally, that's the problem. Walter Hamada has not had any creative input into those films. He walked into those films. All those films were already in those films were already in place. That's the thing that I'm trying to tell you. Like, and we know this. We know
even
this.
like we've heard from a lot of
That's why I
actors
jokingly said like you could disagree, but you can't disagree with it because we know this to be true.
because there's
because
been a
all
lot
those
of
things are already in
actors,
place.
directors, and people that have been involved with Warner Brothers, even themselves have come out and said, yeah, like they don't know what they're doing. They really don't know what they're doing. In fact, like remember when they came out with the article talking about the Ray Fisher allegations and such, they put in the quote of a unnamed producer because he didn't want his name to be mentioned, that they knew what they're putting out with Justice League was crap, basically, is what, for lack of a better term. But like that, they're just putting out stuff. They want to put out stuff that's basically they're just throwing stuff at the wall to see if it sticks. Again, there's people inside the room that know there's really no plan when they say that there is, because that's what companies do. Companies like to build trust in them. So they say, hey, we have a plan, trust us. But a lot of cases with a lot of different companies, they're like the episode of SpongeBob where he can't remember his name and the different versions of themselves are running around trying to find the file. That's what they're doing.
Yeah.
Well,
No,
to
this
me,
is-
the proof is in the pudding, though. It's like
That's what we're saying. The proof is in the pudding.
But they've since 2018, with the possible exception of Wonder Woman 84, which personally I really like, but with the possible exception of Wonder Woman 84, they've just released nothing but good movies since 2018. So until you put out something bad,
Well, that's
I got
debatable.
Hold on. What movies?
Aquaman, Joker, Shazam, Birds of Prey, Suicide
okay.
Squad.
He had nothing to do with Birds of Prey. He had nothing to do with Aquaman.
They didn't even want to do the Joker.
He didn't
Yeah.
even want to do Joker. He did
They had no
Joker.
faith in it.
He did Joker, but he absolutely wanted nothing to do with the Joker. He did not believe in that and actually tried to squash it.
And it was only
still
distributed
happened.
by Warner Brothers.
And
It
that's
wasn't
the
even
one.
produced.
And that's the
Yeah.
one that made $1 billion. Okay.
The ones that
So-
Warner Brothers didn't even produce, but they just distributed, made the $1 billion.
Yeah.
But he's
Yeah.
very much involved in Suicide Squad too. He was one of the ones who brought James Gunn in.
Okay, but here's the thing: Suicide Squad 2 was look, as much as I like Suicide Squad 2. Okay, you will not hear me being one of the people who are like that movie absolutely sucked. I don't like John Cena, just to be honest with you. John
No, I
Cena
don't
gets
like
on my
him either.
nerves. The Peacemaker
Yeah.
character gets on my nerves. But as a movie, I actually liked it. I don't think that like it's so crazy off of the first one or whatever, you know. But dude, that movie did not produce. That movie is literally like it's this double standard that I've been talking about where Suicide Squad can get heralded as this great thing from the imaginative mind of James Gunn that nobody cares about. The normies don't care about James Gunn. They don't know who James Gunn is.
That
They don't-
movie got the second highest number of views on HBO Max of any original movie that went to HBO Max, with the only exception being Mortal Kombat.
and
According
it's
to
been blown
Samba
away
TV.
since then. It's been blown away since then, dude.
By what?
What just came out?
I don't know,
Dune?
dude. Oh, I don't know.
I mean, dude, I'm just telling you. Listen, yeah, at the time, but nothing else had come out at that time. When that movie came out, dude, nothing else had been coming out. That was one of their first tries. I'm just telling you, man. I get what you're saying, and I understand why you believe it, but you got to understand, like, we've been working in this space for a while, and so we know what's been going on, and Hamada, that's one of Hamada's problems. Hamada is literally the embodiment. And I like Birds of Prey, but Walter didn't have anything to do with Birds of Prey. So that's the thing. Walter is literally the living embodiment of the guy who steps in and like the stuff that was going on anyways starts doing well. And Walter's like, hey, we're doing good, guys. Awesome. My name is on all this stuff. But that's the problem, dude. Having his name on it doesn't mean anything. And it's not a plan. And that just goes back to what I was saying. They have not had a plan. They have not had a plan. They're starting to formulate a plan now with the Flash and what they want to do. They're making
out of pure
desperation.
Out of pure desperation with the Snyder Cut, because they realize, oh crap, people are going to see that we screwed up, and now they're like, okay, we got to form some different plan to get rid of that and also develop goodwill with fans again.
Yeah, I would even argue if the Flash is even a plan, because I don't even know if that movie fails. What are they going to do?
There's no scenario where that movie fails. That's going to be a $1 billion
Joe, I'm going to tell you something, buddy. I love you, and I don't want the movie to fail. That movie's going up against Black Panther. That movie's going to bomb now.
And it also has.
Hey, listen, you can't count out. It's a possibility. It is a possibility. There's that too. There's so many different variables that can contribute to it either being a success or failure. You cannot already say that it's going to be either a huge success or a huge failure. No one knows that. And
the only guaranteed success for DC right now is the Batman. The Batman's going to make bank, and it's going to be. It's going to take home the box office whenever, in March, whenever it goes
because
out.
I feel like it's going to be, that's true, because it's on its own. There's nothing that it has to connect to. It's its own thing. The only thing it has to connect to is itself, and it looks really good, and that's the thing like I really like about it. The DCU is just kind of like a huge headache, one from the fans and also from the people overall like running it and producing it. So it's just like it's good to see it that they're also doing like bigger budget movies such as Batman and stuff like that as well. So people who just need a mental break while
and
there
are
figuring
a lot
stuff
of reasons. There are a lot of reasons why the Flash could fail. Again, as a DC fan, I hope it doesn't, but there are a lot of reasons that it could. One, you have a lot of fans who are very upset over the Ray Fisher situation. So there are going to be a lot of fans that will indeed end up boycotting. You also have the situation where people are afraid that Ben Affleck's Batman is going to get erased from the DCEU. A lot of Batfleck fans, and so they might boycott for that reason. You also have a lot of people who don't like the fact that they're simply using nostalgia, in their words, to bring in Michael Keaton and use that. There's a lot of things that are playing against this movie that could cause it to fail. Again, I hope it doesn't, but there are a lot of obstacles compared to other projects like the Batman or Black Adam.
Yeah. And DC doesn't have the same goodwill as Marvel does.
They don't. They don't have the consistent goodwill that, like, Marvel can put out anything right now, and they'll earn money, whereas DC doesn't have that luxury right now.
Yeah, and there's no cohesive cinematic universe with DC. The fact that we have more films with Harley Quinn than Superman, that's a problem. The fact we have more films with Harley Quinn than a solo Ben Affleck film, that's a problem.
I mean, and this is a great point by Jimmy right here. Like, look, and Joe, I want to make clear, like, I love Ezra Miller. Obviously, he was Zack Snyder. So this is not a Zack Snyder. I want to make clear, Joe, that this is not like a Zack Snyder fanboy conversation. Right. Okay, this is not us just saying because we like the Snyderverse or whatever that this is going to all happen.
It's just us speaking as concerned DC fans.
This is just honestly this because we've been so ingrained in this and learned so much about what's happened over the last few years at Warner Brothers with this.
Controversies.
And Joe, you and I actually had to talk about another situation the other night that I was trying to tell. I mean, it's just stuff that we've learned, right? And no. But here's the thing. Jimmy brings up a great point, and I think that there is something to this point. Even now, with this Flash movie, what is being promoted? It's not really the Flash.
It's Batman.
It's Batman.
Well, who cares?
Okay, but what I'm saying is,
as long as it's good.
No, what I'm saying is okay. I get that. If it's good, it's good, and I agree with you.
But it's it's the name of the movie, so it has it's called the Flash movie, so
ever live action movie, solo movie. This first movie, it's got to be about him.
I saw the third Avengers movie. They called it Captain America, but it was the third Avengers movie. You know, Avengers Civil War.
Yep,
They
I know.
called it Captain America, but
I know.
you're kidding
I know.
yourself if that was
Yeah,
Captain
yeah.
America.
That's
I
true,
know.
but we had 2 previous Captain America movies to follow it.
Yes.
We've never had a
True.
solo Flash movie ever.
And it heavily focused on him too, but like
Yeah.
I get what you're saying, Joe. But the
Hmm.
thing is, I think if it's gonna like this is the first like we've only seen the Flash in what like a tease and BVS and then Justice League and then way more in Zack Snyder's Justice League. So but technically this is like his first someone said it's his first standalone movie. This is gonna be mostly and heavily about him, and that's what it should be. I mean, there's all these other characters out there bringing in, but still, it should be his movie. It's called The Flash, so it should be heavily about him.
Yeah, I agree.
What happened to Enosh?
He'll be right back. But
After these messages, I'll be right.
all right, but yeah.
Well, we're taking over the stream now, so this is
there
our
we go.
channel.
Welcome,
One Extra Lounge no
welcome.
longer exists.
Yeah, what's the
Take it
new
down.
name? What's the new name?
It's now part of the Four Nerds Network.
Oh, Jesus. See, I thought Disney was becoming a monopoly, but I think you are. I think you're slowly taking over everyone. This is some straight.
Becoming a fucking monopoly now.
Hey, the truth. You want to come over to the Four Nerds Network? I mean, if the shoe fits.
Is there bonuses over there?
Bonus. What's up?
Bonus.
If there's bonuses, I'm there.
What's up, Marcus Cruz? Anybody seen Eternals yet?
I have not. I haven't held off on it, but I went to watch IMAX the other day, but I had to watch Dune in IMAX because.
How was it? It was awesome.
Oh my gosh, so cool! I mean, I watched it on HBO Max first, but watching it in IMAX was so freaking cool. My first ever IMAX experience.
Really?
Awesome.
I mean, I grew up in a
that's
family
crazy.
of 5 kids, so like, there's no way we're gonna go see IMAX.
Man,
But-
take it alone to go to the movies.
Pretty much is what we would have had to do. But my wife and I went and saw it. My wife loved it. I loved it. And actually, interesting enough, if you go and watch it in IMAX, there's some parts of Dune where you hear people whispering, and if you're watching it at home or in like a normal like small town theater, you might not hear what they're saying. But in IMAX, you do.
Yeah.
Also, you see the ships better.
Yes.
That's a
Dude.
huge thing. I'm like, you wouldn't like coming from like a logistical sense. Why wouldn't you kind of like if you're gonna like include like heavy details such as like showing like a full ship in IMAX? Why wouldn't you port it to HBO Max and like 4:3 or whatever it is in like IMAX ratio, but on HBO Max, so people are able to still get the full details like that and not chop it off. I mean, isn't Zack Snyder's Justice League in that like IMAX format?
4:3 ratio, but yeah, it's the entire movie's in that though. Whereas like, it just kind of depends, like because some shots work better, especially like establishing shots. Some of them work better with the widescreen, whereas compared to the full frame. But I think there's something one that just be experience. Like go and see it in IMAX. You want to see everything. Spend more money.
I want to see it in like an IMAX dome. I like those are so cool. Like this, like engineerically, or I don't even know the term for that, but like overall, it's really cool to see those. I don't know who sent a photo of that in our chat, but they're very cool, and I just like there's such a huge screen. Like someone says like 5 stories, like that's insane. That's a incredibly large screen or something like that.
Yeah, no, it's absolutely freaking bizarre. In fact, I think my wife and I picked like the perfect seats for IMAX. We picked like the 4th from the back row, but right smack dab in the middle.
Yeah,
so
that's
like
the
we're at the focal point of the sound and like good enough distance from the screen to where like it wasn't blinding us, but like we could see everything.
I went and saw King Kong, the Peter Jackson one, in IMAX, and my dad got the seats that were really close, and I was really young. What did it come out in 2005? So I must have been 4 years old. So I still
4 2005.
Dude, I'm 20.
I
Yeah, but like, it was an experience. I don't know what else I've seen. I've seen a couple. I just can't remember because they don't. King Kong is obviously like more memorable than some of the other movies I've seen because I mean it's King Kong and King
that
Kong.
Peter Jackson one especially.
Dude, it's definitely larger than life for sure. Especially in that movie is perfect for IMAX. But I just think like, imagine if like most movies like were converted to IMAX. Like imagine how cool they would be because like those screens are just huge and it would just I don't know. I think it's really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah, the big problem is that like a lot of TVs aren't built to give you a good view with IMAX. So I mean, they'd have to sell a lot different types of TVs in order to pull that off. So
why don't you just get some of that Disney money and just buy yourself a home theater? Like,
you need that Zack Snyder home theater.
Yeah,
make it sound so easy to get that Disney money.
Yeah,
as if Disney hasn't been building their fortune for the past 100 years.
Yeah, and hasn't been slowly buying up the whole damn entertainment industry.
Pretty much buying out ESPN and then buying.
I know they got Hulu too.
Yep.
I'm like and they raised all their monthly subscriptions. I'm like, ESPN too. Like, they don't even offer that much stuff. Like, that's insane. Like, I have it for UFC, and I don't see why they have to up it like by maybe $2. Like, they don't even have enough content, original content, or overall like good genuine sports like made for overseas stuff. That's another conversation.
Because they know that people will give them the money for it.
Yeah, and it's the only way you can actually watch the pay-per-views for UFC, which I haven't watched any in a fat minute.
I feel like pay-per-view anything is just straight up highway robbery. Is what that
is. Depending on like who's fighting. I mean, the stuff for this weekend are pretty interesting. I saw a comment earlier saying like someone said that I want to see Gina Carano versus Valentina Shevchenko, and I'm like, no, just
She doesn't even fight anymore.
Yeah, she doesn't fight anymore, and also Valentina is also in a completely different weight class, and Valentina is a complete utter badass, and
she's savage.
She would destroy. Like she takes martial arts to a whole nother level. Like, I was listening to her talk on a podcast, and man, she's been with her coach since age 5. Like, that's insane.
It's crazy.
And real quick, I do want to shout out on behalf of Enosh, Anthony Grigsby. Was that Australian? $30.99? Nice.
Yep.
Thank you for supporting Enosh. We appreciate that.
Oh, yeah, hell yeah.
Grigsby. Good dude.
All right.
He's a good supporter.
I don't know if we should move on to other topics. I don't know if he wants to move us along. So I don't know.
He left us in control of his channel. So basically, I don't know what the hell we want.
He went to sleep.
That's fine. We'll just someone have to send him a message. Shut off the stream when we're done here. I don't know, but
I'll go to bed before then, so it's fine.
But I don't know if you want to continue the debate of Marvel and DC, but.
I feel like we kind of ended that when we transitioned topics, I guess.
True.
Okay, all
right. Here we go.
By the way, 69 comments were waiting for me in the chat when I came back,
and a $30.99 Australian dollars.
Yeah,
holy cow! Hey,
Merry
there
Christmas.
we go. I like that. Anthony Grigsby with the $30.99 Australian super chat. I have no idea what that is in American money, but thank you so much, Anthony. I appreciate you, man. It says, hi guys, I respect Joe, but he has mini bag.
Oh, that's mean.
You spelled the right takes wrong.
We love Joe. It's good to have different takes though. I respect Joe heavily, and it's good that because I got a whole different perspective on Halloween Kills, and I rewatched that recently, and I like it a little bit better, but still, because of his review and kind of his takes about it. So yeah, we might have like completely different views on some things, like along with the other people on the panel with Joe, but overall he brings stuff to the table, man.
I've been in situations. A couple of like I've gone on other people's channels at some point, and like I was the only person who liked Zack Snyder's Justice League, and like I know what it's like to be bombarded.
Yeah.
And so my hope for Joe is that he knows that I love him, and that so we love Joe.
Yeah.
But he says Zack Snyder's Justice League was sabotaged with its release and its numbers on HBO Max. This is true too. The path forward should be with Ben and Henry with what was set up before it was tampered with. Like I said, even in that little video that I did about The Rock, the thing is, if The Rock doesn't fight or clash with Henry Cavill's Superman, I don't care about him talking about the hierarchy of DC, because who is the hierarchy of DC? There ain't no hierarchy of DC. Is it Aquaman? No. I love Aquaman. I love Jason Momoa, but it ain't that. It ain't Shazam. It ain't, is it Birds of Prey? No, they're fine movies. I mean, but like, is is Black Adam going to clash with with Harley Quinn? I mean,
Yes,
you know,
yes, and
Super
he's
Pets
gonna
is the future.
lose.
And
Harley
she's gonna
Quinn is
hit
gonna-
him with her javelin that she now has. That apparently
Oh,
can
yes.
pierce the eye of Starro.
yeah. Well, hey,
Yes.
you know, like, but you know what I'm saying? Like, so, like, unless he literally fights that character, you know, that's the hierarchy. And so it's just a really weird time right now. Look, only time will tell where everything goes. But
Who's our Superman?
who's our Superman? We need the characters set up. Yes, the hierarchy. Enosh, the hierarchy of power is Walter Hamada.
Yeah, I mean, overall, we're in a shift right now. That's overall we can say. We don't know what's gonna go on. We don't know who are the established characters, and I guess we're just gonna have to see the movie. That's kind of like the thing.
Yeah.
We're not supposed to know. I think that's the kind of intentional. We're not supposed to know like what's gonna happen, because I mean that's what kind of the Flash movie is setting up. It's kind of like part of, I guess,
Well,
the
I mean-
hype about it.
I
It's
mean,
like,
is it intentional that we're not supposed to know, or is it that the studio executives don't know themselves, and so they're like, "Oh,
Well, probably a
wait,
mixture
so
of
I would
both.
just,
It's
I would
probably a
just
mixture of
throw this
both.
out there, and then we could talk about this and move on. But you know, I would just say take this into account when asked, when talking about, and I just keep going back to this because I'm sorry, you talk about a plan. When asked about Superman's ship that he came to Earth in,
oh yeah, and that
when
they're talking about
Zack
the pond?
Snyder wanted to blow it up in Man of Steel, literally the executives at Warner Brothers said, "You can't blow up that ship. If you blow up his ship, how can he get back to Krypton?"
Are you? Oh my
You didn't hear
lord,
this?
bro!
You didn't hear this?
Oh, I don't think. Listen, I have so much stuff going in and out of my brain on a weekly basis.
Dude.
I probably have
Wasn't
heard this,
John
but I
Berg
don't
who
know.
was talking
Dude.
about this, and he was like,
That is
there's a
really
long-
dumb.
He said there was a long pause in the room, and he's like, "Krypton blew up. Didn't you watch the opening scene of the movie that showed that?"
Yeah, and
Bro,
I'm just-
go back to watch Christopher Reeve's. Like, read
Dude,
any comic; it's established.
Any iteration of Superman whatsoever.
That is a
you
constant.
understand that.
And then they asked why he couldn't be from Chicago.
Yeah, and then they asked
What?
why Superman couldn't be from Chicago.
Oh my god!
Like they didn't want him to be from Kansas, you know.
Okay,
and just
stop.
have that. No, dude,
It's true.
that is honest to God.
Okay,
And what do we have now? And what do we have now? We have them trying to force even with the
that's so
supposed
dumb.
plan, even with the supposed plans that they have now. Like you got them trying to have J.J. Abrams take things like, you know, the Black Superman, the Black Clark Kent idea and stuff that nobody wants. Literally,
film's never gonna get
nobody
made.
wants. Nobody wants.
No, continue with Valzad. Honestly,
Val
that's
Zod,
something
I'm
I can.
all for.
I have no clue
I'm all
about
for
Valzad. I'll say this: I have no clue what that character is, what he's about. I have no clue. But coming from a guy that likes logical and like just overall like storytelling, why would you completely create a new IP that no one really wants? If you're spending a lot of money, you're putting all your eggs in a basket. You want your fans to be able to accept that basket with open arms. You don't want, you know, people to like hate on it. And there's so much hate for that movie. Why would you put all your apples in that basket or eggs in that basket for that? Why don't you go with the established character that people would rather see, that has a complete storyline, independent, and it's its own character? Why would you try to reestablish and overall like try to rehash and redo a complete character that's been established for years?
Okay, but The Rock wants to make a Marvel versus DC film happen, and he thinks that him, Gal Gadot, and Ryan Reynolds can do it. I love the fact, because I'm trying to timestamp these things so I can release them the next day, and I think it's absolutely hilarious. We just spent an hour on that last discourse trying to get this. But all right, so the idea of a crossover between DC superheroes and Marvels has been something that has always captivated fans. The first official crossover between the two happened in 1976, the year of my birth, with the jointly published Superman versus the Amazing Spider-Man, which is a great comic, by the way. Yeah, it's a good comic, and there have been dozens more over the years. I love the interactions between Thor and Superman, and there has been the JLA versus the Avengers. I mean, there's been good stuff. But it's been quite a while since one of those comics has been printed. Marvel editor Tom Brevoort has said that Marvel just doesn't consider such events worthwhile anymore, since they have to share the revenue with DC. While crossover books are always big sellers, the argument goes that Marvel can just make a big, ambitious book of their own, and even if it only sells 75% of what a crossover book would, that's still 25% more revenue than they would get profit sharing with another publisher. So can I just point this out? If that's the case, and they really just are like, oh well, we don't want to do that because we can make more money doing other things. Screw you, Marvel. Here's why. This insurgence of Marvel like being number one is new.
Yeah.
Okay. DC was fine with publishing things that they thought the fans would like and enjoy, simply out of the enjoyment of the enjoyment of it. Okay. DC was literally on top for decades.
Yeah.
Decades.
Yeah.
And that's not to take away from what Marvel set up.
I mean, go back to like the 90s Captain America with the rubber ears. I mean, that's whereas you had Batman 89 already and Superman 78.
I mean, that's movies, but like in comics, in all media,
right.
DC ruled, man. Kids first discovered things like Superman and Batman, and they had things like, Joe, like Super Friends. Like we had Super Friends growing up, man. That was my everyday afternoon, man. I came home, I watched Scooby-Doo, I watched Popeye, I watched Voltron, Masters of the Universe, Super Friends, and Silverhawks at one point, Thundercats, and stuff like that. But man, G.I. Joe, Transformers, right? But those were always there,
Growing up in the 70s, the DC characters were more prevalent. We had Christopher Reeve in the movies. We had Adam West reruns on every afternoon after school, Super Friends. Shazam was on Saturday mornings.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So if this is if Marvel is really being that petty to say that we don't have any interest in doing it just for that reason, I think that's petty. But okay. It says fans love the idea though, and now the superhero movies and TV shows are everywhere. The notion of teaming live action characters from both universes is one that has been floated a few times. Marvel chief Kevin Feige has said basically that such an idea isn't on his radar, but never say never. Now, Dwayne Johnson says he believes that he, Wonder Woman star Gal Gadot, and Deadpool star Ryan Reynolds could make it happen. He says, I turned to Ryan Reynolds and Gal Gadot and I said, there should be a crossover. Johnson told Variety, we could be the ones to possibly make it happen. We'll see what happens. What?
Well, as I alluded to earlier in the stream, James Gunn said he's already had discussions with both Marvel and DC about a Harley Quinn Groot crossover.
Oh, dear God.
Oh man, I think am I having like a lucid dream?
Having to listen to Groot be like, I am Groot. Well, that's so sweet, isn't it?
I literally want,
look at my hyenas.
I literally want anything but that.
That would be like a special, like maybe
that
like a
to me is
special.
like, go ahead and take my money. I want that, and I want it now.
You know what? Here, I'll get you started. You know what? I just realized I still have Dawson.
Super chat money?
I still got super chat money from last year when you guys were all here. And live super chats, there you go. There's a super chat for you, $1. Another super chat for you, another $1. There you go. I got $4 for you. That's all I'm giving for the Harley Quinn Groot.
That's a lot of money. Stop. That's a lot of money.
That's all I'm giving for Harley Quinn versus Groot. Okay?
You should have thrown
unless Harley Quinn's got a chainsaw.
You should have thrown $3 of those bucks at Matt Jarbo because he's $3 theater.
Well, he's already got $3. Now he wants to be $7 productions. Remember, like we just read that story just a few minutes ago. So, nice. So okay, so apparently The Rock just says it says Johnson, Gadot, and Reynolds are currently appearing in the Netflix original movie Red Notice, which I want to see that together. So it's likely this is where the star would have turned to the others to pitch the idea. Like, I love how they're acting like this is like a serious pitch in the film. And they're talking about that other movie. It says it's hard to picture just what a crossover between the very earnest Wonder Woman, Gadot, the fourth wall-breaking Deadpool, and a rigid, violent anti-hero who is apparently going to be racking up more deaths in his movie than ever before in a PG-13 movie like Black Adam.
I'll tell you exactly how it's going to be. Severely disjointed.
You think so?
You're trying to balance.
Oh, you mean if they did this movie? If they did this
did
movie?
it.
Yeah, oh yeah.
It'd be extremely disjointed. I mean, you have Deadpool breaking the fourth wall, being all jokey, Black Adam being like super serious and murking people, and Wonder Woman trying to mend peace while also being a warrior princess. Like that does not work well
Wonder Woman
together.
trying to beat Black Adam with love.
It would take a master right. It takes Shakespeare to make something cohesive with that.
I don't know if he can even do that.
This is a better fight movie than that.
Any trouble? I'm here fishing, minding my own business.
Look, I'm gonna need you to leave.
I'm gonna need you to leave.
That is a great clip.
I love that, dude. Yeah, so, look, The Rock is talking. I love that we spent an hour on that thing just for like a 5-minute segment, literally. Like that's the story. The Rock just wants to do it. The Rock needs to stop, as far as I'm concerned.
I'm not smelling what he's cooking.
I am not smelling that at all.
Smells burnt.
We're just not in the place for it, okay?
No. DC needs to get on its feet a little bit more. They've been, they haven't paid the rent in a little bit, and Marvel's, living in a mansion. We need to get established more. That's my feel before they even consider doing crossovers. It needs to be established.
So Ndozi here says the Suicide Squad versus Guardians of the Galaxy was discussed. James Gunn confirmed it. Listen, I'll tell you how that conversation went down. Hey guys, wouldn't it be cool if one day we did Suicide Squad versus Guardians of the Galaxy? Yeah, that's funny. That's cool. Yeah, okay. So what I'm doing for real is that confirming having talks, like there's not been any serious talks with that. You know what I mean? Like they're not even in a position that those two studios would actually even work together. So Dark Side's Mother says The Rock needs to stop smelling that powder.
I mean, there's a massive difference between talking about it and actually putting together plans for it. Like,
yeah, I mean, we're talking about it.
Yeah, but if you're simply planning it, then that's another thing. But if they're just simply tossing it around, like it's just something like, hey, wouldn't it be cool if we did this? Yeah. Oh, do you guys plan on doing this? Well, we did talk about it. It's like
drugs.
There was a lot of drugs in that conversation too. I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, lots of cocaine.